Happy New Year. Welcome. I am City Clerk Nicole Crispo, and it's my honor and privilege to preside over the swearing in of the 84th Quincy City Council, Monday, January 5th, 2026, here in the Great Hall. Please stand. I would like to call the North Quincy High ROTC Color Guard to the well for the posting of the colors. I would also like to welcome the Girl Scouts of Quincy to the well to lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Go ahead, girls. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. It's my honor to introduce Reverend Rebecca Fromm from the United First Parish Church to lead us in this evening's invocation.
Will you take a deep breath with me? Feeling that spirit of life, that spirit of love that moves within, between, and beyond us all. Breathe in, breathe out. And I invite you to lift your hearts and join me in the spirit of invocation and prayer, listening in these words for the language of faith most meaningful to you. Eternal presence, known by many names, known in many ways. We gather this evening in the heart of the city, a city formed by people from many backgrounds, many life experiences, many generations, many faith traditions. A city that spreads from wooded hills to coastlines, with every form of home and household between the two. In our time together this evening, and in the years of these counselors' service, may our leaders and all of us be blessed with the gift of listening, of opening our ears, our hearts, our minds, to reach out to those who are similar and different from us, to listen with curiosity and compassion for one another's experiences, so that we might bring a perspective of moral courage and gracious clarity to understanding the obstacles and opportunities that face us as a city, a community, and a country. In times of division, let us be people who reach out in connection, honoring our shared humanity and our shared ideals as we work for a more loving, compassionate future. We pray this for love's sake. Amen. And blessed be.
Thank you. Thank you in leading us in that beautiful prayer. It is now my privilege to administer the oath of office for the 84th Quincy City Council. Councilors, please stand. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I will support the Constitution thereof. So help me God. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as a as a member of the Quincy City Council, according to the best of my abilities, understanding and agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth, and the ordinances of the City of Quincy. So help me God. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Congratulations, councilors. Thank you. You may be seated. It is truly an honor to welcome a leader who has dedicated her career to public service and to strengthen trust in our government throughout the Commonwealth. We are grateful she could join us here this evening for this special occasion. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Diana DiZoglio, State Auditor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Well, good evening, Quincy. I said good evening, Quincy. Good evening. It is a good evening. We get to be here tonight to celebrate the wonderful inaugural ceremony for some amazing folks here tonight who have worked really, really hard, who want to make a difference in this community. Some familiar faces, some new faces, and I am just thrilled for the city of Quincy that we have the opportunity to celebrate tonight such amazing representation here at the local level. Now, excuse me, well, I show you how old I am. And when I first started in politics, folks, and in government, some years ago, I was the rookie, the new kid on the block. And recently, I had the privilege as a woman in her 40s of getting called a seasoned veteran elected official. And you can imagine how wonderful those words were to hear. But friends, I am here tonight to offer some brief remarks to offer some words of encouragement. Again, I do want to congratulate all of the newly sworn in city councilors. Mayor, thank you so much for hosting me in this wonderful city. Thanks for all that you do. To my colleagues in the legislature who are here tonight, I see our great senator, some of our representatives. Thank you so much for your service to this community, for your wonderful partnership. It's been my honor to serve alongside of you. Some of you for, I think, roughly 15 years. It's great to be in your home community. Thanks for your service. Can we give a round of applause, folks? And I love being in Quincy. I was actually just here several weeks ago for a meeting with some local activists, and I had the honor and privilege of joining many of you at the Flag Day celebration this year in Quincy as well, where I have to say, I think I got to see every single resident and child in this community out joining in the festivities, walking in the procession and the parade with their families and friends. And it was really great to see so many people coming together in such a tight-knit community, especially since Quincy is a community of, over 100,000 residents? Friends, over 100,000 people live in this community, but if you were at that celebration, it was as though every single person in the street knew every other person in the street that day. Hugs, handshakes, warm greetings, kindness being offered to each other. And I'm talking about the type of kindness that goes beyond, that sort of surface level, hi, how are you, nice to see you, how's your day, great, in passing that you give to folks that you don't really know. These are the types of interactions where you could tell that folks went way back, that they had known each other for years, and that you deeply cared about each other that day. It was just so great to see. I have to say I was inspired. Look, I travel a lot around communities across the state, across the Commonwealth. There are 351 cities and towns. I hail from the great city of Methuen. I know, a North Shore Merrimack Valley girl. Thanks for having me here, everybody. We appreciate it. But it's so great to see a community like this big, still have that ability to come together in that tight-knit fashion. And you can tell that Quincy just gets it. Quincy gets it. Quincy understands that people come before politics. Quincy understands that people come before profits. Quincy understands that people come before power. And what better way for Quincy to demonstrate that understanding than by electing people who are committed to that mission right here at the local level, people who want to build trust between our local government and this community's everyday people, so that people, especially those who may be feeling unheard or left behind, know that those leading our government, our local government, truly are serving this community the way that it deserves, with openness, with transparency, with accountability, with accessibility. Friends, times are tough. Times are tough across the board in this nation, in this state. We know that politics is dividing this nation. It's dividing this nation. Politics is not just dividing this nation, it is also dividing people in this very state and dividing neighbors from each other. People are feeling that division, they're feeling that loneliness, and a lot of people are losing faith and hope, not just in government, but in humanity. They're just losing faith and hope because of these types of divides that are separating us from each other, from being together in community, the way I got to see Quincy together in community on Flag Day. During that 400-year celebration, for example, and here tonight, joining in community across those political divides, breaking down barriers, building bridges instead. And we, as elected leaders, we have a very unique opportunity and a responsibility to be people who can and will make a difference, even if it's not, in our opinion, some big, grandiose, huge, dramatic act or gesture that we're able to perform. We have the ability every day through the work of our elected office to make a difference in someone's life. Now, I don't know if there are any members of the school committee here tonight, but if you are, thank you for your service. Folks in the school committee will know that you can make a difference in the life of a family by just taking a call from a concerned and upset parent who feels as though their child may not have been treated the best. And despite how you're feeling in that moment, offer to be a voice and demonstrate to that parent that their voice matters. Let them know their voice counts. Counselors, when you get those calls, which you will, to those newly elected to serve, at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night, 11 p.m. on a Monday night, 5:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, Saturday afternoon, and all the hours in between. And folks call because they want to talk to you about the joys of trash pickup or what's going on with their street light, or the fact that their neighbor's light is too brightly shining on their house and you need to do something about it. Or they want to talk to you about the local budget. We know folks across the state are struggling with their local budgets, with getting that Chapter 90 transportation funding, getting your local Chapter 70 school funding, dealing with special education circuit breaker. All of these things are a cause for concern across the state of Massachusetts. And those things will be on the table for discussion right here in Quincy as well. And just offering to be an ear, a listening ear, and chat with somebody who's concerned, who cares, picking up the phone, calling people back, showing up when others won't. That's what makes all of the difference. You know, somebody said to me, it was years ago when I first started out, I was a state representative long ago, serving alongside of my wonderful colleagues here. And when I was a state representative, I'd just gotten elected and I didn't really know what to do as a newly elected state representative. And someone said to me, Diana, you know, you don't need to know everything. Nobody expects you to know every single thing that's happening. But showing up, that's half the battle right there. Just show up. Show up for people when they're upset, when they're sad, when they're confused, and yes, when they're hopeful as well. Be that listening ear and be that person who's willing to represent them and be their voice, because people can really use that hope right now. And if they're not going to get that hope at the federal level, and if they're not going to get that hope even at the state level, I know that in a city like Quincy, that they're going to get that hope from the local officials that are sitting here today. And when tough decisions have to be made, which they will, and there's a decision, for example, one might differ, than some of our friends elected to serve that are in the seats next to us, but we know in our heart it's the right thing to do. My encouragement to everyone tonight is to work up the courage to feel that little bit of fear that you always feel when you're going against the grain, but do the right thing anyway. You know, people say to me quite often these days, as the auditor of the Commonwealth, when they are not asking me the question, where's my audit? When they're not asking that question, folks will say to me, you know, how do you do what you do if you feel like no one's agreeing with you, or if you feel like you're getting stonewalled? You know, it's almost like you seem like you're just fearless. No. Friends, I feel afraid quite often. On the daily, actually. I get afraid of what they'll say, afraid of what they'll do, afraid of how folks might try to get rid of me, afraid they'll come after me through the media, or that they'll troll me on social media and online, afraid of being judged harshly or rejected for standing by my values or a position I hold on an issue that's important to me and the people that I serve. I feel afraid all the time, but I feel that fear and I decide to just proceed anyway. And that, my friends, is what I am encouraging not just the folks up here to do, who are leading this great city, but anyone who's listening, who's here tonight. You're obviously here because either you know someone who's sitting up here, or because you are deeply invested in this community and you care about this community, or both. And as Quincy proceeds to continue being the tight-knit community that I know it is, and getting even tighter knit, my encouragement is to always allow yourself to feel that fear, acknowledge it, but when you know you're doing the right thing, feel the fear and do the right thing anyways, even if you're standing alone, even if you're the only one talking about what you're talking about. Do what you know in your gut and your heart is the right thing, and you can't go wrong. And as you get sworn in tonight in this historic moment, swearing in Quincy's first women majority city council ever, my hope is that this amazing council continues to make progress toward giving everyone in Quincy a seat at the table, and that you make the best of this opportunity to serve, be courageous, and let your own unique voice be heard, and shine your own unique light on what's happening in local government here in the city of Quincy to spread hope as the community leaders that you are. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the Quincy City Council. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Madam Auditor. I am truly inspired by your comments. At this time, we will begin our organizational meeting of the Quincy City Council, 6:30 p.m. I'm going to call the roll. Councilor Ash. Councilor DeBona. Present. Councilor Hubley. Present. Councilor Jacobs. Present. Councilor Mahoney. Present. Councilor McKee. Councilor Riley. Present. Councilor Ryan. Present. Councilor Yan. Present. I will now read into the record the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised of such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. First item on the agenda this evening is the nomination and election of the City Council President. I will now accept nominations for the President of the 2026-2027 Council Session. I'd like to recognize Councilor Riley.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It is an honor and a privilege to be here this evening and to nominate Ann Mahoney as president of this 84th Quincy City Council. I've known Ann since she was first elected to the Quincy School Committee, where she established herself as someone who puts the needs of the people she represents ahead of her own. She does not make decisions to advance a personal agenda. She makes them because she believes they are right and just. Ann lives and leads with energy and empathy, humor and humility, with passion and compassion. Her return to this council is no accident. The residents of Quincy overwhelmingly voted her back to represent them in this diverse and proud city we all love. I know we can count on her experience and wisdom to guide us all as we take on the inevitable challenges and changes that the future brings. As we usher in Quincy's 401st year and our nation's 250, our city continues to make history with 6 first-time elected officials and 5 women serving on this council. There is no doubt Abigail Adams would be proud. I am confident that Ann will work collaboratively with our mayor and city department heads, advocate for all members of our community, and stay focused on the priority of our constituents. She, along with this council, will maintain an unwavering commitment to public safety, to public education, and reliable public services while balancing responsible financial decision-making. Ann will lead this council with a steadfast focus on the greater good. So I ask my fellow councilors, let's do good things together in the coming 2 years and elect Ann Mahoney as our council president. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Riley. Do we have a second? Councilor McKee.
Thank you, Clerk Crispo. I'm elated to second Councilor Riley's nomination.
Sorry.
Is it on? Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, Clerk Crispo. Oh, no, I hear it.
Sorry.
I am elated to second Councilor Riley's nomination of Ann Mahoney as council president. Like State Auditor Diana DiZoglio, whom we are so honored to have as our guest speaker tonight, Councilor Mahoney is a fearless, maybe sometimes fearful, advocate of government transparency and oversight. In her previous terms on the council, she was frequently the only voice to critically question city policies and spending. Her courage, integrity, and willingness to speak truth to power not only inspired residents to become advocates themselves and even run for office, but also built confidence in our democratic process. As president, Councilor Mahoney will no doubt continue to center her work around residents' best interests and will lead the council with vision, equanimity, and grace. I can't think of anyone I would rather have helming the council, and as a first-time councilor, I feel incredibly lucky to learn the ropes from a lawmaker and human being I admire so much. While the work will no doubt be challenging, I hope Councilor Mahoney will take solace in the fact that she will definitely not be the only one asking tough questions on this council. I look forward to working with all council members and city residents this term.
Thank you, Councilor McKee. Are there any other nominations for president of the 2026-2027 council session? Yes.
Hello.
Councilor Young.
Hello. I can't say anything before I say special thanks to the people of Quincy for this historic election. People voted for change. Without people's support, we wouldn't be able to sit here to elect Ann Mahoney as president of the city council. Ann won the election by the decisive margin, clearly demonstrating the public's approval and appreciation for the work she did as the former city councilor. That's providing real checks and balances. For this reason, I warmly and fully support to elect Anne Mahoney as president of the city council. And once again, thanks to you, the people of Quincy.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I will now close the nominations with a motion made by Councilor Riley and seconded by Councilor McKee. I will now call the roll. Councilor Ash. Yes. Councilor DeBona.
Yes.
Councilor Hubley. Yes. Councilor Jacobs.
Yes.
Councilor Mahoney.
Yes.
Councilor McKee. Councilor Riley.
Yes.
Councilor Ryan.
Yes.
Councilor Yan.
Yes.
Motion passes with a unanimous vote. Congratulations, Councilor Mahoney. Please join me at the podium. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Anne Mahoney,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and
that
allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of
to the
Massachusetts,
Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and I will support the Constitution thereof.
and I will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Anne Mahoney,
Solemnly swear and affirm
solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as President of the Quincy City Council,
as President of the Quincy City Council,
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably,
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
to the rules and regulation of the Constitution
and the laws of the Commonwealth
and the laws of the Commonwealth
and the ordinances of the City of Quincy.
and the ordinances of the City of Quincy.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Anne Mahoney,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Tonight, we stand at a turning point for Quincy, a city with a proud history and an even brighter future. This moment is not just about the new council. It's about the trust of our residents have placed in us and the responsibility we share to honor that trust. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge and thank former elected officials and officials that are in the audience and public servants who are with us this evening. Your service has helped shape this city, and we are grateful for the foundation that you have laid. We have Representative Bruce Ayers. He was also Ward 6 counselor. And we have Ms. Tina Cahill, School Committee. We have Mr. Scott Campbell, Counselor at Large. Representative Tacky Chan, State Representative. Mr. James Davis, former Ward 4 counselor. Mr. Stephen Durkin, former Ward 5 counselor. Mr. John Keenan, Counselor at Large and our State Senator. Mayor Thomas Koch. I should have started with you, I'm sorry, Mayor. We have Mr. Michael Morrissey, our District Attorney. We have Courtney Perdios from the School Committee. We have Mayor William Phelan, our former mayor. Thank you for joining us. And Mr. Joseph Shea, our City Clerk and County Commissioner. And then we also have Mr. Joseph Newton, our former ward counselor and our assistant clerk. Correct. Madam Auditor, Diana DeZoglio, thank you very much for being here. Ms. Kathy Hubley from the School Committee, and Ms. Mary Collins, our former school committee member. I think that covers everybody, hopefully, in the room. I also want to congratulate our new school committee members. Kate Campbell, I think her daughter was part of the Girl Scouts, and Tom Leong. And Tom Leung, our first Asian American school committee member. And Tina Cahill on her reelection. I also want to extend my sincere thanks to Reverend Rebecca Froome for being with us this evening and for her words and guidance, and for Reverend Bruni, who will be offering the benediction at the conclusion of tonight's ceremony. I'm grateful for both of their presence and for their service for our community. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to say thank you to the State Auditor, Diane DeZoglio, for joining us this evening and for her continued commitment to the citizens of Massachusetts. Thank you for being here. And I thank everyone for being here tonight, my fellow counselors, city officials, family, friends, and most importantly, the residents of Quincy who are watching both here and online. Thank you to QATV for providing exceptional coverage for our public meetings and events. To my colleagues on the council, thank you for the confidence that you have placed in me. I'm honored to serve as your city council president, and I take that responsibility seriously. I also want to acknowledge the families of all of our counselors for their patience and support, especially on the long nights when this work follows us home. Public service is never a solo effort. None of us would be here without the people who believe in us and keep us grounded. So thank you. This election was not just about individual candidates. It was about what the residents are asking of their government: transparency, accountability, and thoughtful decision-making. They want a council that listens, challenges assumptions, and does the work in the open. It was also historic. 5 women were elected to the Quincy City Council, including 2 Asian women. That matters because our council should reflect the community it serves. Different perspectives strengthen decision-making, improve outcomes, and deepen public trust. That message matters, and it must guide us. Serving as your city council president is not about authority. It's about stewardship. Our role is to represent the people, to be both a check and a partner in city government, and to ensure decisions are made with care, sound information, and respect to the taxpayers. We serve in the city of Adams, home to John Quincy, and Abigail, a place where debate was not feared, but expected. John Adams once reminded us that liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people. These leaders understood that democracy depends on an informed public and a governing body willing to debate openly, share information, and explore ideas. That tradition matters, and it belongs in this chamber. As president, my commitment is to lead the council that is fair, prepared, and focused on the public interest. Council meetings should be places where ideas are tested, deliberation is encouraged, and debate is conducted with professionalism and mutual respect. In this city, especially, healthy debate is not a distraction from progress. It is how progress is made. In the weeks ahead, the council will take up issues residents deeply care about: strengthening financial safeguards, improving public transparency, and advancing ordinances related to fiscal responsibility and long-term financial health. We will also face decisions about housing, infrastructure, public service, and long-term planning. These issues are complex, and they deserve careful deliberation, not rushed votes or incomplete information. I believe strongly in public engagement. The council belongs to the people of Quincy. Residents should feel welcomed here, heard here, respected here. I encourage you to attend meetings, participate in hearings, and stay engaged. Your voices matter, and they make our decisions better. I also believe in collaboration. While the council has an independent role, progress requires communication and cooperation with the administration. I am committed to working constructively with the mayor and the city department heads, grounded in mutual respect and a shared goal of doing what's best for Quincy. At the same time, the council has a responsibility to ask hard questions and expect clear answers. Oversight is not obstruction, it's good governance. And we will do that work professionally, respectfully, and productively. To my fellow counselors, those beginning your service and those continuing it, I look forward to working with each of you. We come from different backgrounds and perspectives, and a breadth of experience is our strength. I pledge to run meetings that are fair, orderly, and respectful, and to support the council culture that represents preparation and integrity and teamwork. To the residents of Quincy, thank you for your trust. You expect your elected officials to be honest, accessible, and accountable. You expect us to act in a long-term interest of the city, not just the next vote or the next headline. That is the standard I intend to uphold. While we may not always agree, and we may not always get everything right, we can promise that debate will be honest, decisions will be deliberate, and the public interest will always come first. Tonight, we begin a new chapter for this council and for our city. Let's work together to make this a city where every voice matters and every decision reflects our shared values. I'm honored to serve as your city council president, and we are ready to get to work. Thank you. Okay, what do I say?
Do you want to do the meeting?
I don't know what we're talking about.
I'm going to finish the meeting
Okay,
with
so it's-
Jen's nomination. If you want to sit there, I'll go back to you. Our next item on the agenda this evening is the nomination and election of the clerk of committees. I will now accept nominations for clerk of committee for the 2026-2027 council session. I'd like to recognize Councilor Ash.
Thank you, Clerk Crispo. I would like to nominate Jennifer Manning as the clerk of committees for the upcoming council session. Jennifer Manning has been in her position as clerk of committees for the city council for 12 years. As councilors Kane and Mahoney, I hope, can attest to and would agree with me, she's a wealth of institutional knowledge. As the 6 newly sworn-in councilors will soon realize, she has not only knowledge on city ordinances and historical issues like resolves, but personal and professional, professional for all of us. She has been an asset to myself on my first term. And I know that she will continue to be an asset to both myself and to all of you as well. So it gives me great pleasure to nominate Jennifer Manning.
Thank you, Councilor Ash. Do I have a second? Councilor DeBona.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, Madam Clerk. I would like to second the motion for Jennifer Manning. Jen has been a huge asset for the City Council as our clerk of committees. I've had the honor of serving with Jen for the last 10 years, and I really got to know how valuable she has been my 2 years as City Council President 4 years ago. Jen does a great job with maintaining official records, documents, resolutions, ordinance for the committees and the council. I know that firsthand. Jen has served as central point for information, facilitating important communication, documentation, and procedural accuracy to support the council members. I don't know if people know this, since 2014, she's worked with 25 other councilors up here with a variety of different personalities, which you can see here tonight, which is a good thing. I'm looking forward to serving with all of you as well. I'm happy to second the motion and give Jennifer Manning my vote tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor DeBonner. Are there any other nominations for clerk of committees for the 2026-2027 council session? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Councilor Ash. Yes. Councilor DeBonner. Yes. Councilor Hubley. Yes. Councilor Jacobs. Yes. Councilor McKee. Yes. Councilor Riley.
Yes.
Councilor Ryan.
Yes.
Councilor Yan.
Yes.
President Mahoney.
Yes.
Motion passes with a unanimous vote. Congratulations, Jen. The next item on the agenda this evening is the introduction and adoption of the rules of the City Council for 26-27 session. Is there a motion? Councilor Ryan.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Councilor Ryan here. I would like to introduce the motion for the approval of the introduction and adoption of the rules of the City Council.
With a motion made by Councilor Ryan, do I have a second? Councilor Ash. I will now call the roll. Councilor Ash. Councilor DeBonner. Councilor Hubley. Councilor Jacobs. Councilor McKee. Councilor Riley. Councilor Ryan.
Yes.
Councilor Yan. President Mahoney.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda this evening is authorizing the city clerk to have the city council calendar printed. Is there a motion? Councilor Ash. Oh. Councilor Yan.
Authorize the city clerk to have a city council calendar printed.
Thank you. With a motion on the table by Councilor Yan, do I have a second? Second by Councilor DeBonner. I'll call the roll. Councilor Ash. Yes. Councilor DeBonner. Yes. Councilor Hubley. Yes. Councilor Jacobs. Yes. Councilor McKee. Yes. Councilor Riley. Yes. Councilor Ryan.
Yes.
Councilor Yan. Yes. President Mahoney.
Yes.
Motion passes. The final item on the agenda this evening is the adoption of the 2026 City Council meeting schedule. Is there a motion? Councilor DeBonner. I'd like to make a motion. Do I have a second? Councilor Jacobs. I will now call the roll. Councilor Ash. Councilor DeBonner. Yes. Councilor Hubley. Yes. Councilor Jacobs. Yes. Councilor McKee. Yes. Councilor Riley. Yes. Councilor Ryan. Yes. Councilor Yan. Yes. President Mahoney.
Yes.
The motion passes. In conclusion, I would like to ask Reverend Laurie Bruni of the Hausneck Congregational Church to lead us in this evening's benediction.
Mr. Mayor and Madam Auditor, Quincy City Council, distinguished guests, and wonderful members of Quincy, please accept this benediction. Please grant to these newly installed leaders the wisdom, the strength, and the clarity to serve the community with justice and peace. Help them to carefully navigate the challenges of their new offices with compassion, with fairness, and with dignity. Empower them to foster unity, to be a champion for the vulnerable, and to lead with integrity, culture, and humility for the good of all citizens. May they inspire us to move forward toward a future of promise, prosperity, and justice. Amen.
I'd like to give a special thank you to Mayor Koch, Reverend Rebecca Forum, Quincy Girl Scouts, Quincy Access Television, State Auditor Diana DiZoglio, Reverend Laurie Bruni, and the North Quincy High School ROTC Color Guard. And before we conclude this evening, I'd like to invite everyone to join us for a small reception in the lower level of City Hall. Thank you for being with us. Looking for a motion to adjourn.